We're back for part 2, really part 3 and 4 of this alien quadrilogy.
This won't get any more explicit. There's not going to be any sort of
no
surprises
idea.
here. That's right. You haven't really watched these things in 7 years.
Yeah, I can barely control my mouth now, let alone past me. I have no idea what's going to happen here.
All right. Well, let me put my seatbelt on here and get ready for Act 3.
Ooh. So, a couple of weeks have gone by. It is now May 31st, 2013, and I have posted part 3 called Alien Transfusion. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, boy. I don't know what's going to happen here.
We're about to find out. So here, Cody, I'll send you the link. And
okay.
Oh, I hope I can make eye contact with you after this. Here we go.
Alien Transfusion. Let's do this.
Darkness. Is it night? Sound. Shuffling. Alice? Janine? I crack my eyes only to see blurriness. How long was I out? I need to rub my eyes, but my hands, they're not available. I blink hard a few times. Ugh. Why? Where am I? My eyes begin to focus as I check in with my body. I'm paralyzed? Or at least I can't move. I look at my right hand, but I can move my fingers. It's just... oh God, the robotic hands have me pinned. Their fingers back in their pin-sized holes, locking me to the black floor. I look up to the ceiling, which is gone now. And there are large things moving about. Floating like hot air balloons? No. They're attached to something. It can't be. They are. Heads. At least I think they are. Yeah, 3 of them. Each head as large as my entire body, spread out as far as I can reach, maybe even bigger. At first glance, they're completely featureless. Just a giant glob of dark skin stretched tightly across his skull. But then I see their eyes. If they are eyes. Sitting on either side of the head, embedded into the temple under a flap of jet black skin, like a marble lodged in clay, like someone threw it there with all of their force. The heads of these things are completely hairless, one smooth texture all the way around, and no mouth. At least none that I can see. One of them notices that I'm stirring and puts 3 fingers from each hand over the edge of the wall as if to get a better view. Looking down at me. And underneath its chin, a flap begins to open, facing down towards me. A seamless slice in the skin of the face, opening like a deep knife cut across its entire jawline. And where the teeth should be, the secret mouth is filled with tiny weaving. Are those tentacles? A mist begins to come from its disgusting flap. As the other 2 open their mouth flaps and join in, all releasing a red mist from their mouths that move towards the center of the room. And these red mists, always staying separate, twist into each other like a beautiful ribbon candy. And as I'm watching in awe and amazement, I feel a prick on my stomach. And then another. And another. In agony, I look down towards my feet and see that one of the needle-fingered robot hands is climbing across my naked body. It's detached from its arm, and with each step, it's like a person walking through deep snow. It crunches, sinking a little bit into my flesh as it moves its way up my body towards my face. And the mist is continuing to twist and contort in the air above me, and it starts to move closer and closer, and I'm helpless, twitching in pain as the hand opens its fingertips again, finally making those small discs that rest upon my lips, saving me from its piercing points. With 3 fingers on my top teeth and the 2 thumbs of the hand on my bottom teeth, it forces my mouth open, and the twisted mist is approaching closer and closer and closer until it's a foot away from my face. With 3 fingers on my top teeth and 2 thumbs on my bottom, the hand forces my mouth open and the mist begins to enter my mouth. At first I feel nothing, and I try and close off my throat with my tongue so that it can't get in. But the hand takes its middle finger and jabs at the back of my throat, causing me to gag, and the mist enters. And just like the liquid before, there's no temperature. Just texture. It's like cotton candy or quilt stuffing. It's like swallowing a sandwich whole, forcing itself into my body, rubbing together. If I had any hair left on my body, I'd be completely covered in goosebumps. And as I'm stuck, pinned to the table, my eyes are darting around, confused. I'm afraid. Is this all going to fit inside of me? And where's it going? More and more of the mist enters my body, inch by horrible inch. And I can feel it entering my bloodstream, coursing through my veins, the blood and mist thickening and slowing my system down, making my heart work harder and harder. Little electrical shocks are happening in my brain, flashes of memory. I see my backyard, and then another flash, and I see my kitchen, and then my wife. Little flashes of my life right before my eyes. Maybe this is how they kill people. An alien transfusion. Another flash, and I see myself staring curiously back at me. But how? Another flash, and I'm back in the room, on the table, in total agony. And finally, when I think I can't endure anymore, when I think my body is at the point of becoming petrified, I finally see the end of it tapering off and slowly clearing my field of vision. When I can see the ceiling again, I catch just the top of the back of the giant heads as they're walking away, and the brushed metal ceiling slowly lowers again, sealing me into my giant petri dish. The mist is gone now, consumed by me and replacing my blood. Everything is slow. I feel thick. The robot hands quickly retract back into the floor, releasing me from their grip, and I roll onto my side. This time, I will not sleep. I am determined to stand up. I have to get out of here before those things decide to do more to me. And as I get up onto my hands and knees, I notice a discoloration on the floor, far over to one side. And it's moving. Squiggles. Now's my chance. I manage to force myself up onto my feet, and I start moving towards them, and my body aches. I don't feel like myself. I try to focus my eyes and realize that the room around me looks different. Whereas before, the room was smooth, featureless. Now all I see is different kinds of equipment, all worked into the walls. And the weirdest part is that I recognize it, and I know instantly how each piece functions. There's a door release, and robot hand controls, and medical monitors. How did I not see any of this before? I look over to the squiggly lines, focusing with my new vision. And I see it for what it truly is. A small version of the giant black things. Same size as me. And as I take a step forward, there's a slight smell of burning as it disappears back into just squiggly lines. It's like a chameleon. Fascinating. I can't get too distracted. The number one priority is getting home. So I try to speak with it, to plead with it. Take me home! But instead of words, as my mouth opens, the red mist begins to come out in the place of sound. And the thing slowly becomes visible again. And as it opens its secret flap of a mouth, it also releases a red mist of its own. And as our mists begin to twist together, I can hear its thoughts. I want to go home, I tell it. And it understands and begins to move towards me. Its feet never lifting off the ground because underneath the squiggles move it closer. And as it embraces me, I feel 10,000 needles pricking my body from all sides. And then suddenly, I'm being slammed into by a strong force, knocking me on my back into the grass of my own backyard. And the thing that hit me scurries over to me, looking down at me. It's Janine, my wife. I'm home. Thank you, God. Thank you. And I can feel myself in pain passing out. I have to keep my promise. A man should never lie to his family, and so before I pass into a dark slumber of recovery, I tell her, I've been smoking. I'm not sure how much time had gone by before I woke up in my bed. It was still nighttime, or another nighttime. That's probably more realistic. Ooh, and I was starving. I look over to my sleeping wife. She's sitting in my chair next to our bed, dead asleep. So I sneak out without her hearing a sound. I'm not ready to explain any of this. I'm not even sure I can speak anymore. What if the red mist? Oh, my stomach. I need food. So I head down to the kitchen and I put on a pot of coffee. And my wife must address me because I'm wearing underpants and a V-neck shirt. But I have a strong urge to be naked. So I take off my clothes and I toss them into the basement. That night I sat and ate just about everything in the fridge. Countless vegetables, whole blocks of cheese, jam, butter, anything I could get my hands on, and a whole pot of coffee. It's like I've never eaten before, not even tasted food before. It's all so new and amazing. I've always liked food, but never like this. After I ran out of options, I wiped my face and I realized that I had stubble. And this repulses me. And I run for the bathroom and I shave. Not just my face, but my entire body, ridding myself of the disgusting hair. And as I've just finished, my wife comes into the bathroom.
Alan, what are you doing?
I say nothing. I just look at her.
What happened to you?
What if the red mist comes out? What if it's poison here on Earth? I just look at her, holding my arms across my body, turning away.
Don't you know who I am?
I try to tell her with my eyes. I try to tell her that it's going to be okay. I try to tell her that I love her. And there's a small glint of recognition from her. A sparkle of hope.
Okay, you don't want to talk yet. Okay, I get it. That's fine. But you're a mess. Let's just get you cleaned up.
So she runs a bath, and I'm finally able to relax. Physically. Mentally, I'm still clueless as to what's happened to me. And if the poison inside me is a threat to my family. But for now, it doesn't matter. I'm back. With them. And that's enough to be grateful for.
Or are you?
Oh, God.
Oh, hey!
I had to grab Cornelius.
It's the corn
I got
dog.
too scared.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, one, I'm getting like serious, like now that you said it, the Philip Seymour Hoffman vibes. Definitely picking that up.
Ooh, all right.
I'm thinking there's some sort of transformation taking place. I think there might be something going on here.
Yeah, there was a false ending there where you're like, oh.
I know, right. And then I'm reminded of something that Jess once told me. What if these aliens are actually just teenagers, like rebellious teenagers, where their parents are like, "Do not go to Earth." Do you understand me? Like crank calling, kind of stuff. Where as a kid you'd be like, "Okay, you guys don't go out toilet papering, don't do anything like da 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 da," and then like the ones who would be doing stuff like probing and this kind of stuff and making contact are actually just like unruly teenager alien kids that are like, I told you not to go to Earth.
There's a theory like that in that documentary we watched, The Phenomenon, I think, where it's like, what if it's like Earth is like the Las Vegas of the universe? It's like you have to stop by and see the crazy shit that happens here.
Yeah.
Show up, do a few donuts, and then get out. And so we see these flying saucers come in and just go like, you morons, what are you doing to your planet?
This is unbelievable.
And
then
get out of there. Oh man, I have some notes. So I didn't know where the hell any of this had come from before this episode, but now I can see some very serious references to stuff that I was watching and paying attention to at this time. So the floating heads, reminded me of in Fire in the Sky when in that last 30 minutes when he's in the spaceship and there's those like empty alien bodies there, and he just like grabs one of them and he's like, spacesuits.
Okay.
So
gotcha. All right.
I
so
think
that's
those
like a subtle,
yeah,
kind of nod. I was gonna say when you were talking about the shapes, I was reminded of another total cult classic, great alien movie, and that's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I remember they had those like cotton candy kind of, like little. I guess they were like they would eat or they would drink. They would put bodies inside of them. But I was like, when you were describing the heads, I was like, oh my God, I'm reminded of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Cool.
And I don't know why we didn't talk about that one, but go ahead.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, you got to watch it.
Yeah, and then the deep snow, the crunching of the deep snow is a reference back to myself, to my first story, Hilltop.
Right, going up to the loony house.
The twisted mist from the mouth, I believe the inspiration for that, either directly or indirectly, comes from the ectoplasm in Haunting in Connecticut. And they're doing the seance and it comes out of his mouth and it's like twisting and turning. So the idea of these like almost like solid vapors, I know it's
okay,
oxymoron, but like intertwining with each other. And then I thought the flashes were so cool on the video version of this. If you're listening to the podcast, this makes no sense. But on the video version, the YouTube version, the visuals of like flashing and seeing the kitchen, flashing and seeing the backyard, flashing and seeing my wife, like gave me a little bit of goosebumps. It was kind of a cool effect.
It was, and that was like, I would assume this is like kind of like a small budget. what you were working with. I'm just assuming. I'm going to jump off a ledge here and just go ahead and assume that this was like a kind of a, a tight budget, small budget.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much, but it's me, a black curtain, and a microphone.
Well, and then you see yourself, but then there's also like you see yourself, and then there's also like the flash to the kitchen, which is really, I mean, for what you had, it's really, really good.
Yeah, it turned out pretty cool. And then I was naked again.
I know.
Not visually for anyone listening to the audio version. It's just you're having the same experience. I'm fully clothed in the video.
What about the food? What about the food thing? What do you think that came from?
Probably E.T. When he raids the fridge.
Oh, right. Yeah,
that's what I would think. But I was thinking with the whole like nudity thing. I've been reading the past couple of weeks this it's like a collection of like great horror authors talking about horror writing. Again, I did one of my top 10 searches of like what are the best books to read if you're a horror author, and this one popped up, and I don't remember if it's Clive Barker, but I'm just gonna say it is. But in one of the chapters, one of the authors gives the advice of write like everyone you know is dead. Because if you're trying to please anybody, you're not going to write your truth, and you're not going to write like your best work. And I guess past me was like, yeah, sure, I'll reference a penis. Why not?
Why not?
Well, yeah, I'll be naked. Sorry, Mom.
I guess what you have to do is just put yourself. You have to let yourself as a writer. You have to just be like fully. If you're not like squirming, if it doesn't make you squirm, then you're not writing yet.
Yeah, it's like they say in like movie script writing, right? Like budget has no, like there's no limitations budget wise, and then you figure out the rest later. Okay, so there is, there was a moment in that where it felt like the end, but it wasn't. We've now revealed that there is a fourth part.
Here we go.
Do you have a guess? Because we kind of started this section with you. You were like right there.
Okay. Are you? Wait a second. Oh, the transformation. I'm going to say the transformation.
Metamorphosis.
All right.
Which is a direct reference to Franz Kafka. So we'll see how Kafka-esque this gets. It's only 10 minutes, which for this series is shorter than the rest. So here we go. A week goes by and I'm still not talking. I'm too afraid. What if whatever's inside me kills my family? I can't live with that. I can't risk it, not even a little bit. Luckily, Janine saw what happened to me, or at least she saw me disappear, so there's no risk of her calling a doctor or a therapist or a priest. I need to get through this on my own. So I spend my nights looking out into the backyard, waiting to see the squiggly lines again. So far, nothing. On this particular day, I happened to stumble across our wedding photo. And as I'm sitting home alone on our couch, naked as I prefer now, I noticed something. Compared to my thumb, in the picture I look awfully pale. Extremely white. Or is it... I get up, tossing the photo on the couch, and I sprint for the bathroom. And looking into the mirror, I realize, for the first time, that my skin is significantly darker than before. No. I actually say it out loud into the mirror. No. Speaking out loud for the first time since the abduction. There's no way. Ha. No red mist. Ha. Ah. All these days wondering. Wasted. But how could I know? How could I know the red mist wouldn't be there? Waiting to kill. So I begin to talk out loud. Okay, calm down. This is bad. Okay, maybe it's my imagination. I look down at my hands. They're dark. Could I be turning into one of these things? Is that red mist still in my blood? There's only one way to find out. So I head to the kitchen counter and I grab a sharp knife from the chopping block. And as I'm standing there, fully prepared, to cut into my arm, to find the red mist and release it. I hear a door close behind me. Snapping back into reality. Was I really about to do this? What's wrong with me? I quickly return the knife to the chopping block, just as my wife walks into the kitchen.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing, sweetie?
Much better.
Oh my God! Oh my God, Alan, you can talk!
And we did. For hours. I explained what happened in as much detail as humanly possible. And she listened, terrified, not sure whether or not to believe me. Weeks went by, my skin ever so slowly getting darker and darker. I couldn't leave the house, not like this, so we told my clients that we had discovered that I had a rare case of skin cancer and that I would need to take a leave of absence. It was a good temporary fix. I still hated wearing clothes. I still had a bewilderment about my surroundings, but I was slowly getting more comfortable. I tried to talk to Janine about my appearance, about what I was changing into, but she was in complete denial.
You need help, Alan.
From who? What is a doctor gonna know about anything that's happening with my body right now?
What is going on with you?
Stop! I told you what happened.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, okay? It's all so hard to believe.
You saw it happen. You saw me disappear.
No, I don't know. It was late. I had a long shoot and I was really tired and God, I just don't know anymore.
The scars on my skin. The color of my skin. What more proof do you need from me?
Well, I think you should talk to someone.
To who, Janine? What would I say? I've been abducted by aliens and now I'm changing into one. Can you please help me? Come on!
You don't know that. You don't even know what's happening.
And it would go on like this. She was always wanting me to seek help, and I knew there was nothing anyone could do. The only thing that could save me at this point would be... Yes. That's it. I had to go back. There was no other way. I had to get back on that ship. The thought swarmed over my body like a wave of recognition, an epiphany. So one day I was thinking about this, about my abduction, about the possibility of jumping through time and space to a ship or a planet. How can that be possible in the blink of an eye like that? And all that went on in those moments that I was gone, was it more realistic that I had transported miles, if not light years away? Or that this place was under my house? Obviously, this was an alien craft, but what if it were buried here? A ship sent to Earth to send back research for all of time. Yeah, that was much more likely. I had to dig. And so at night, when everyone was asleep, I began to excavate the backyard. It took a whole night for me to remove the grass alone, piling it in the corner of the fence. When Janine woke up the next morning, she was not happy, but I tried to explain I was doing what was best for the family. She didn't understand. We argued for a while, which resulted in her taking Alice and going to her parents' house until I decided I wanted to get better. I don't blame her. How could she possibly understand that this was the only way? I dug for a week, working at night, resting and planning during the day. I removed the patio, the swing set. I even chopped down my own tree. I would knock this whole house down if it meant one chance at being with my family again. By the end of the week, I was exhausted. I was out of food, and there was no way I was going to the store. My skin was deep brown at this point, and my eyes seemed to be spreading apart more and more as the week went by. I wasn't sure if that was just me going insane. One evening as the sun was setting, And as I was drinking my last cup of coffee, looking out across the yard through the glass sliding door, sitting at the kitchen table, I saw it. 5 squiggly lines in the dirt, moving around, seemingly inspecting my yard. They moved to right where the patio was, just on the other side of the glass. Now was my chance. I stood up, tossing my coffee aside, and I ran, smashing myself through the glass door, tackling the thing, grabbing it in midair. And before even a shard of glass hit the ground, we were gone. And that's my story. That's why I'm here on your planet. I need your help. Change me back. I just want to be me again. And to go home to my planet. And my house. And to be with my wife and kid. I didn't expect that ending.
Wow.
Cool.
What a performance. I mean, the acting back and forth.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was very dramatic.
Yeah, you could tell Claire and I trained together.
Yeah.
Back in college.
That was very very good. And so then I also like the throwback to where you were digging, and so then that means, like, I get it now, while the guy was digging a pool, the guy who previously lived at the place, and he was trying to, like, make this or dig a pool, but we now know what he was actually doing and why he went nuts.
Yeah, and maybe he made it to the mothership or the planet or whatever also.
Yeah, because he just disappeared, right?
Yeah.
And then the bank foreclosed on the house, and then you took it over.
Or maybe he's the 5 squiggly lines coming back, trying to get back, and keeps running into me.
I love it.
What I don't understand about the writing of this is why have a daughter if she's never going to be in the episode?
Alice, what was she doing?
I don't know.
I guess maybe to bring in, like, oh, it's you're a family man.
Family man. I guess, like, lots of homework maybe, but the digging, another reference to movies I was watching at that time, Stir of Echoes. That whole movie's about digging.
With
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah, Kevin Bacon. I was also, at the very end here, I was starting to get, like, a little bit of, like, The Shining vibes about somebody who's just gone way over the edge. Mm-hmm. And then there was, like, some sound effects I was picking up on that I was, like, hearing a little bit of, like, Shining-esque kind of stuff. And it's like, this guy is obviously, he's gone and he's not coming back.
Yeah, well, and physically transformed too. So
yeah.
So at what point do you then become the abductor?
Yeah. That was kind of freaky too when you started talking about the character's eyes starting to go a little farther.
Could you
apart.
imagine?
Like,
You're like,
oh my god. Well, I'm like getting darker. It'd be like, oh shit. Well, okay, maybe I just have a skin disorder, or maybe it's just like a pigment problem. And you could go to the store and but when your eyes start going, that's when. Yeah. That's when you've got some serious shit going on.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a good one. And that's a 4-parter.
That's a long one. We had to break it into 2 episodes. I got one major important question for you before we end this. Oh boy. Okay. How far down do you think you could dig in a week?
Oh my God. In a week? With a shovel?
Yeah. Wife's gone. You got a shovel. You got the whole backyard. How far down do you think you can make a whole week?
I'm gonna go within a week. I'll go probably 2 feet
across the whole yard. That's probably the equivalent of like 70 or 80 feet, right? Like if you were.
You have to be a man. You have to be motivated. You have to be possessed. I mean, I would give up as soon as the sun started hitting this pink pigment. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Or as soon as I start dropping like a little bit of sweat, I'd be like. Yeah, this is.
Well, maybe that's why he's digging at night.
Well, if it was night, yeah, that might be a little different.
It's a lot cooler outside. You're not sweating as much.
So are you naked while you're doing the digging?
Absolutely.
I would assume, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
You got, if you're going to be doing a little dig at night, you've got to be...
And listen, this guy's losing his mind. Like, is his skin turning brown or is he just covered in dirt?
Oh, right. You don't know.
Well,
You don't know. What could you dig in a week?
I could dig a pool in a week with a shovel.
A week?
I'd probably
All right,
throw.
I challenge you. You've got a little bit of a backyard. You've got a front yard.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't have much of a back. That's exactly what would happen. Is it would be
Throw it on your back.
I'd get like 10 shovels in, and I'd be like on the couch for a week. Oh god. Courtney would come back. She'd be like, "I thought you were digging a pool." I'd be like, I got any Advil? I can't. Oh man. Well, hey, this was really, really fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Well, so that's our episode, weirdness and all, and man, we're back next week and with a new theme. And at the point of recording this, I don't even know what it is.
Well, keep haunting people and keep having fun and stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and keep having fun out there.
Yeah, likewise. Hunting Season was created by me, Joshua Sterling Bragg.
Produced by Greg Holdsman and Jessica Richmond.
And executive produced by Matt Geelan, Patrick James Lynch, and Ryan Geelan.
And is a joint production of Believe Limited and Matt Geelan.
This episode was written and hosted by Cody Dugan and Joshua Sterling Bragg.
It was edited by Colby Crow.
And select music in this episode was made exclusively for the podcast by North Innsbruck.
If you like our show, please subscribe on your favorite platform.
We have a video version of the show on YouTube and Facebook, and audio versions on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Was that good? Oh boy.